so shaking right now. I cannot believe that those are my scores. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is something a little different because normally I just play my guitar, but today I'm not doing that, and if you wonder, today I'm not screen share. So, we know this is serious. But yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy this content because it is actually something near and dear to my heart. And it's been a big part of my life, so I feel it's weird that I haven't shared it with you guys yet, so hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. So one thing I've never really talked about on here is what I do kind of like when I go to school and stuff, and like what, I guess, classes I'm taking, which normally, I guess, you're like, okay, why would you tell me that? The whole point of that is I actually take College Board's classes. I take AP classes, and there's so much going on with like AP, especially since the pandemic. And so I not only wanted to share my past experiences with exams and like compare the two, but I also wanted to show y'all like my score reaction at the end of this, because scores are coming out on the 16th and currently today it is the 14th. So where I live, my scores are coming out on the 16th, so I wanted to take you on this journey with me. But first, let me kind of describe College Board for you guys in case y'all don't know who they are. If you don't know who College Board is, it's this organization, and actually it's international, which I will get into the problems with the 2020 exams and the fact of like College Board's international, I guess, policies with it. But what they do is that they allow high school students to take a harder advanced course. You take a test at the end of the year, and that can determine whether you get college credit in certain schools based on how high of a score you get. I had taken two previous to this 2019-2020 school year. I had taken AP Human and then AP Human Geography and then AP World History, and then this year I took APUSH, which is AP US History. I took AP Psychology and AP Language and Composition. All of them had very different experiences, but there was like, it was just different. But especially this year with the exams compared to my last two, I feel like I need to like talk about it because it was nuts. It was wild. So first, let me discuss my past exams and why I liked the pen and paper 3 hours. Because normally a College Board exam is about 3.5 hours. It's pen and paper. There's usually a multiple choice section and a free response section. They usually, depending on your exam, depends on your free response question. Like AP History can have long essay questions and short answer questions, while others just have a free response questions. It depends on your exam. But my first ever AP exam, which was AP Human Geography, that one actually went quite well. There wasn't anything odd about my exam experience. I just kind of took the exam, was insanely nervous, and then realized it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, and it was all perfectly fine. I ended up actually getting a 5 on that exam, which means I will get college credit for that in select schools. It depends on where you go. Some schools actually don't accept certain AP exams, which is kind of sad, but I should get credit for that. Then I took AP World History last year, which was actually an adventure because I joined that class a week late, so I was behind content-wise and had to catch up. So that was a journey, and considering I had a performance for another class I was in, because I was in musical theater, the fact that I had a performance the exact same day as my AP exam, that was very stressful. But at the same time, my AP exam, besides me falling asleep in the middle of it, there wasn't anything too odd. It wasn't too difficult. I felt it was pretty fair, even though I did kind of sleep through the multiple choice section. And it was just a lot that day, considering a lot going on. If you have like a lot of extracurricular activities, AP exams can be like this big thing because it's like you have all these things going on, and now you have an AP exam that you have to pass. My freshman year, I didn't have that, so I could just focus on my AP exam, so I was much more at ease compared to my sophomore year. But sophomore year, I felt really good by the end of the exam, and I actually ended up getting a 5, so another 5, which means another college credit. And if you're wondering, the scoring does go from 1 to 5, and 5, I guess this is 5, 5 being the highest and 1 being like the lowest. 1 and 2s don't equal college credit usually at all. 3s depends on the state and the schools, and 4s and 5s usually can guarantee you credit depending on what schools and what exams you took. But it all went fine and dandy. I will say the 3-hour exams are very, very, very draining. Like after you're done with them, you just feel like a zombie. So I can't imagine like having to take multiple in the day, because I know some kids had to do that at my school, but like it is very draining. You leave feeling like a zombie, but overall it does offer much more opportunities for you to score and gain points. So I preferred that overall, and I was really happy with that. And even with me taking 3 exams this year, I was okay with the idea of taking like 3-hour exams for each exam. So now let's get into the 2020 exam board, because as you know, there's a pandemic. The 2020 exams, they decided to take them 45 minutes and online, which makes sense because I mean schools were closed down, and they only made them 45 minutes and actually cut out, I think, the end half of the content, anything that people hadn't learned by like mid-March. So it made sense because like again, people weren't seeing their teachers, so the chances of it, they wanted to make everything fair. I got insanely nervous for these exams. I have lovely test anxiety, so that was very stressful for me to find out, because I was like, things could go wrong. My Wi-Fi security isn't always the greatest. By security, I mean like its reliability. Sometimes my Wi-Fi just goes out and it's annoying. So it's like I didn't know if my exam was just gonna like kick me out because my Wi-Fi would turn off. That was like a big fear for me. And then like they also made it to where everyone was taking the exam at the same time, which is very important because they were using one server, and everyone internationally were taking the exam at the same time for security measures. But that meant that while I was taking my exam at 1 p.m., the people in other international countries were either taking them really late at night or really early in the morning. Some of them taking them at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., the works. It was, I can't imagine having to take an exam like this at such an early time in the morning, but people had to, and I applaud you guys if you had to do that, because I couldn't. I was barely functioning having to take my exam at 1 p.m. and it was just a lot. They also had like a sting operation, which got like a lot of coverage. Like they had a sting operation to catch cheaters, because it was open notes, but they were like really loosely defining that term. I only used like my textbook and like my notebooks. That's all I used. I didn't like dabble, but like they were like, oh, you can internet search, but it's but don't do that, it'll waste your time. And then they were like, then they made like this Reddit thread to kind of like catch cheaters, because if you worked with someone, you were cheating. I mean, it makes sense, but I can't imagine what made them go to Reddit to catch cheaters, but it was a whole thing. But yeah, now for my specific exam experiences, because they were fun this year. So starting off with my 2020 APUSH exam, my AP US History, that was my first exam I took. It was on a Friday. I was watching videos from the beginning of that week, which were talking about how, it was talking about how the exams were glitching, and even if you started submitting at 5 minutes, which they recommended, sometimes it wouldn't let you submit, the servers were crashing, it was not good. So I was already insanely nervous, and my teacher had like a Zoom call for like last minute discussions, and I popped in and I cried in front of him for a good hour or two, because I had severe test anxiety. I was freaking out. I was insanely nervous. I mean, this might be TMI, but I did end up throwing up. I mean, that's just like how bad my anxiety was. Like that's just how bad my mental state was. My teacher doesn't know I did that, by the way. Hey dude, sorry, totally threw up. Yeah, it was just like I wasn't in a good mental state, and I was very shaky, very nervous. I thought I was gonna pass out nervous. Like I didn't even know if like I would let alone be able to sit through my exam. Didn't even, now the whole submission issues weren't even like my biggest priority. But I checked in at, they made you check in like 30 minutes early. So I checked in, typed my little security statement, and it was all good to go. And then I literally didn't look at the timer because they had the little timer countdown, and I was just like insanely nervous while looking at it, so I didn't look at it. And then my exam started. I actually got quite a decent prompt, but like iffy documents. I'm not gonna like say what prompt I had because I don't know if College Board would take away my score for that, and I don't want to test it. So it was a little iffy, but it was overall okay. And I finished the exam, and I felt actually pretty good about it. My friends couldn't submit though, which was quite upsetting because that was like my biggest fear. I was like, I wouldn't be able to submit, but mine went through fine. It was all good. And then AP Psych happened. But I did, before I get into AP Psych, I did like kind of take pictures because they were like, oh, like make sure you record of the fact that you see this screen, like take a picture, screenshot it, print it out, whatever. So I do have that, which I will show y'all right here. The AP exam is complete. Oh my goodness. Sure, I'll fill out a survey. I'm so happy. Oh my god. Okay, so my exam submitted. It's complete. Let's take the survey. I took... Where is it? Thank you. Good. Okay, I'll type my response. I will always chew paper and pencil. Always. I hated online exams. Okay, now for AP Psych. So, AP Psych's exam, I woke up that morning, and mind you, I've had severe test anxiety. I've been emailing my AP Psych teacher at this point. Like, I think I sent him 15 emails in the span of 3 days. And I hadn't been eating because I was so nervous. I couldn't, like, keep anything down. It was a problem. I should make a whole video on how to deal with anxiety, even though I flopped. It was quite bad, but I woke up that morning earlier than I wanted to because all of my neighbors decided to do construction at the same time. They were all like, okay, let's just do construction. And they did it all day long. I was like, I'm screwed because how am I supposed to make deep analytical FRQ responses? And not only that, but like have to produce this response in 45 minutes, which I literally don't have time for anything. I don't have time to like dilly-dally. If I don't know what it is, if I can't find it within like 30 seconds, it's not worth it anymore. Kind of like time that I don't have. And how am I supposed to focus with construction outside? Which I do have proof of. Here it is. So this is the day in the life of me taking an AP test. Outside there is construction, which just bodes well for me. It's my AP stuff, headphones, music I'm probably gonna listen to. We got my brain model, book, notebook, everything's tabbed. Got my planner, which serves no purpose anymore because we're not going anywhere. And yeah, so I'm gonna try to tune those out, even though that sound sends me into fight or flight, and which you know is caused by cortisol in the adrenal gland. See, I remember psychology and basic biology. We'll see how this goes. Construction is still happening, but now I am reviewing just kind of carefully. I'm not cramming because that is a bad idea. I did add like more to my notes yesterday because I found like I was reading through the book a little bit because that's helpful to do. Look at that pretty neuron. I'm so proud of that. And so that is what I'm going to be doing for the next maybe 20 minutes. I don't want to review a little bit more than that. And then I'll go back to watching Netflix. I've been watching the Avatar Last Airbender, and I mean, you understand why that show is amazing. So this is what I'll be doing. Look at that brain. However, so that was not a good start to my day, and the construction really did go on, and I was insanely like set off by this. I was just trying to do some gentle review. I did end up, and again, all my tests were at 1 p.m., which was quite nice. But I did end up, again, I signed in at 12:30, filled out all my information, took my exam. This was actually my only 2-question exam. My other exams, APUSH and AP Lang, because it was history and English, they were only 1 question. It was just a long essay. But this exam was 2 questions. And so I had to like do that, and it was quite scary, but it was not that bad. I did like the demo exam a lot of times, so I was familiar with the 2-question format. They had a lot of parts to the exam, and I know my exam specifically had like less parts than some, but like AP Chem and like AP Bio and all AP Calc, they were going to like J and L, and you had to solve that and like do all those parts in like 25 minutes. And then they would go to like H or I for the second part, which you only had 15 minutes for. So it was quite stressful to say the least, but I did end up finishing. My second exam I finished a little bit later. My second exam, I mean, I was trying to submit it exactly at the 5-minute mark, and I think I submitted my second question to that exam at like the 2-minute mark. So I was a little scared it wasn't going to submit for that one, but it did submit, and it was all good. At least that by the second week, they had actually implemented measures for if you couldn't submit, but you had finished your responses, to be able to get it submitted and get credit for it, which I don't know why they didn't set that up in the first half. And again, here's like my after reaction for immediately taking the exam. It's so happening right now, I don't even know what to do. I have my things pulled up, everything's ready to go, notes, book, that for no reason. I need to move that because that's going to distract me. Yes. And we are done. What a beautiful way to end the exam. My final exam that I took was AP Lang, and that one, after had stressing out since at that point Friday, at this point it is now Wednesday. After stressing out for that long, I was so tired, I was so drained, and that I blame my anxiety on College Board, but I was so tired, I was so drained. So honestly, that morning was like the most peaceful, and I did actually eat that morning, surprise, because the other days I hadn't eaten. But I did actually eat something, and I chilled. I watched Netflix. I just vibed, and it was surprisingly a much more peaceful experience. I mean, I had disruptive family members for that exam, which wasn't great, and there was nothing I could do about it really, besides just tell them to be quiet. But yeah, they were just being disruptive, making a lot of noise. Kind of, my brother was just like screaming at his video game, and I was like, I need you to shush. But like, that just kind of leads into a whole bunch of other issues, because I was like, I couldn't be the only one who was having construction going on outside and disruptive family members and heavy anxiety. But again, my exam, 1 p.m., filled it out, finished it. I actually felt quite decent, and it was such a weird exam because I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I mean, yeah, you can like review how to like do an essay, but if at this point, if you don't know how to write this certain essay, it took our teacher a lot of time to teach us how to write, you're probably not going to figure it out. And so I was like in a weird position where I'm like, the night before the exam, I was like, if I don't know how to do this by now, it's not going to happen. But I'm just going to trust my instincts. And it all went well. I actually felt really good about it. But we'll see. And here's my immediate reaction after that exam. My final exam is complete! Oh my gosh, this feels so good. I have never written so fast in my life. Oh my goodness. I feel so good. So going into what I had mentioned, which was the heavy anxiety, the construction going on outside, my disruptive family members, that just like mentions the whole issues of the 2020 exam. Unlike previous exams, which were heavily regulated, you were in a specific room, there wasn't any noise distractions by maybe a couple bells going off to like signal changing classes. there was so many issues with this exam, and this isn't even mentioning the technical glitches that were going on, because like people couldn't submit. My friends couldn't submit their exams, and I literally watched them like sob for hours. They couldn't submit it. And the fact that international students weren't given the same advantage as other students, because here's College Board going like, oh, get 8 hours of sleep, and you're like, I have to literally test at 2 in the morning. It wasn't like good at all. And then, but like there's also, for the people that were testing at, I guess, normal times, besides like the whole Wi-Fi glitches, you don't know where someone's testing environment was. So someone could know all this material, but just have been in a really bad testing environment and not have been able to focus. Like that, there's a lot of like issues with that, because they only offered one question exams, because it was like 1 or 2 questions, but that doesn't really reflect upon your knowledge of the whole year, especially if your testing environment was bad or not great. Like I'm kind of nervous because my AP Psych exam, even though I felt decent about it, I had a lot of distractions and I had a really hard time focusing. Same for AP Link. I had a lot of distractions and I had a really hard time focusing. Like, and I can't imagine, because I know some other people probably had this exact same problem, and I'm like, in College Board, it's just like, oh, it's all fine. Yes. And then like, not to mention the fact that these exams, which were shorter and online, they didn't have to print out any paper. They were still full price. And while my school gets a discount off the cost, like they subsidize it, other schools don't. And these exams cost usually $94 in the United States. International, I heard they're even more expensive than that. And people take multiple of these exams. And so the fact that they were online, they had so many technical glitches, the fact that these exams were not perfectly ideal anyway, the fact that like people didn't get like refunds is like a big deal. Especially if their exam couldn't submit, I feel like they should have gotten a refund. My exams did submit, and I'm still like angry because again, these exams weren't ideal. They were very. I didn't leave the exams like I left my first 2. I left these exams feeling stressed and like I didn't know what was gonna happen, because I didn't know if this was like gonna be accepted, and I was just like, well, that's my one shot. Like the other exams, you're able to, okay, maybe if you're not great at one part of it, you could probably redeem yourself with the other part of it, which is just as regulated, so it evens out. This one, it wasn't that. If you literally got a question you didn't understand, you were just screwed, and I didn't like that. But it's hit or miss. I will say the final thing I'm gonna bring out before I do my score reaction is that I had released the score breakdowns already, which if you don't know what those are, they release the percentages of students that got 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, or 5s. And this, like, not just with like my exams that I've taken, but like all the exams I've looked at in general, anywhere between 30 to 50% failed with a 1 or a 2. And a lot of exams, it is pretty much 50% failed, which just leaves like a sour taste in my mouth of like how in College Board to say, oh, it's look at this, and there some exams did improve while others got significantly worse, and that just like leaves me questioning. I'm like, how can College Board be okay with that? Like how can they sit there and go, this is great? And that just kind of like cemented my fears in deeper, that like, oh, maybe I didn't do so well, but we don't know. So yeah, I'll link down the Twitter if you want to like go look and see the score breakdowns for yourself. It's quite interesting. What's interesting was when I looked at like especially the past exams I've taken, because you know you're able to see all the exams for like AP Human Geography this year, the amount that got a 1, not even 1 and a 2, a 1 was 30%. With the 2, it reached about 40 something percent. But yeah, that's not okay. And like that's still 30 to 50% of students that aren't going to see college credit, and we don't know what their situation was. We don't know if they actually knew the material or if they were just in a bad testing environment and they had technical issues. We don't know. But I guess that's the end of my political spiel, I guess. In this next part. I will see y'all in 2 days, counting today, where we will see my score reaction. I'm insanely nervous, but I will, I guess, release my predictions based on what I think I did. I feel pretty good. I feel like I probably passed, but probably not with 5s like my last exams. I feel like I more have gotten 3s or 4s. Like, I feel like AP Psych is a 4. I feel like AP US History is a 4. I feel like AP Lang is a 3. But we'll see what happens. I'll see y'all in 2 days. Okay, it is early. It's about 9 a.m. on the 15th, and I heard that there's an early score report. Mine's supposed to come in location-wise on the 15th. But I thought I'd check it out because someone was like, oh, you could probably see it now. And I was like, okay. So I thought I'd film it for you guys. I'm really nervous. Okay, I was able to pull mine up. It had like a weird wait time because so many people are trying to log in at the same time to get it. And it says 2020, so my scores are available. I haven't really looked at them. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my. Okay, I have to show you. Okay, for AP English, I got a 5. AP Psych, I got a 4. And AP US History, I got a 4. What the I literally thought I was gonna get a freaking 3 on AP Language because I sucked. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is real. This is legit. This is really my score. Oh my god. I am so shaking right now. I cannot believe that those are my scores. I really thought I was going to do really bad. And I mean, of course, I was like, oh, I have 5s last year. Because of how, like, terrible, like, everything was and how stressed I was. Yeah, I literally thought I was going to do so much worse. I'm not mad at all with my scores. Oh my gosh. Especially the AP Language and Composition. I got a 5! Here's just the further... Okay, here is just a further proof that these are mine, because that's my world history. That's my human geography. Consider it... Okay, I was failing AP Language. And I literally did nothing for that one. And then I studied so much for the psychology and US history. So I feel in shock right now, very much. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna make this quick because this is kind of off related. So it's been a couple days now. It's June 22nd, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the other video, but I should have gotten an AP award. I was like, the one thing I don't know if I mentioned, I haven't really looked. I've been in the process of editing though. It's like, oh yeah, I was supposed to get an AP award because I've taken 5 exams and all of them have a score above 3, so I should have an AP award, and I wasn't seeing it till today. So I just wanted to show you all my AP award, which is in. So there it is, that beautiful doll. I mean, I'm kind of like, now that it's in there and thinking about it, I wish I got a higher score on my AP Psych, but the rest of it's okay. I'm not mad. I'm so happy now that I got my AP score and my AP award. So alright, and as I was editing, I realized I didn't have an outro, so I'm just gonna make a quick one for you guys here. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I know it's not content I usually make, but I'm really excited about it, and I hope this informed you a little bit about College Board if you're planning on taking the exams and what it's like to be an anxious child taking AP exams. If you liked it and you aren't subscribed to me, please subscribe, as I do have other content, not just this, but I do plan on doing a bit more, showing my personal life, and playing more music, so stick around. And if you are already subscribed, like this video, especially if you want more content that kind of reveals a bit more about me and is more personal, I guess. And I hope you all have a great day. See y'all soon.